As the day fades away and the night sky takes over, there's nothing quite as sweet as getting a good night's rest. Whether it's the relief of a long day's work or passing out after a night in town, sleep brings us all a sense of peace. But why would God sometimes interfere and wake us up in the middle of our resting period when He knows this is the only time we have to rest? You see, we live in a spiritual world that is ruled by two major forces, good and evil. And whether we believe it or not, the spirit realm completely overrules the physical realm. But what we often forget is that while we may be fast asleep in our beds, the world continues to turn. And so does the presence of spiritual warfare. Have you ever wondered why most of the wickedness that takes place in the world occurs at night? Did you ever wonder why darkness is often associated with evil? That is because the devil finds nighttime as the best time for him to carry out his mischievous activities and go undetected. In fact, if God were to make us aware of the spiritual things that go on behind the scenes at night, most of us will stay wide awake. We would spend time praying rather than falling asleep. 1 John 5:19 tells us, "And we know that we are of God, and the whole world lieth in wickedness." When God wakes you up in the middle of the night, it is because He wants you to pray and counter such evil forces ganged up against you. In Matthew 13 verse 25, the Bible tells us, "But while men slept, His enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat, and went his way." In other words, during our
So quick one, guys. I'm currently at the hospital. Yeah, we don't have a lot of patients today. Yeah, it's currently around 8 p.m. So I said to run this by you guys. For a while, I've been feeling so vulnerable. Like I feel so empty. Like I'm not enough for myself. And the truth is, I'm actually doing a lot. I'm a YouTuber. I'm a medical radiographer. I have a 9-to-5 job. I have a family. I'm a wife. I'm a mother. And these things I just listed are a lot. Like, it demands your full-time attention. And still, I feel empty. So I always say this prayer whenever I find myself feeling this way. I always say, God, I hope I help me to feel this emptiness from within, because I don't actually know where it's coming from. So aside me trying to find out if any of you have experienced this is me also saying it to you guys that it's okay to feel like you're not enough. Sometimes, like, I feel like the feeling is general. I don't think I'm the only one experiencing this, but yeah, sometimes I feel like I really want to I feel like I'm not doing enough, but the truth is I'm doing a lot. I feel like I want to put my energy into something else, and yeah, I don't know, but I just feel like August, it hasn't been a good month for me. Yeah, I'm glad that I'm someone who is self-aware of my feelings. I'm able to process, assess, and trying to find the root cause of whatever I'm feeling at a particular point in time, because yeah, it's usually crazy, and I know that our hormones as women could actually also mess up our system. But I find myself feeling so empty. I find myself feeling so hopeless. I find myself just unhappy, and sometimes I can't be able to pinpoint what actually is making me unhappy. I feel like I probably shouldn't be where I am today, but looking back, I'm grateful to God for the life I have today. If not for God, I don't think I'll be here today. I've been through a lot of ups and downs in life, and at the end of the day, I always see light at the end of the tunnel, and I come out stronger, bigger, and better. Yeah. But sometimes I can't help but feel like, how people say you're strong, and you're strong because you've seen things, you fought different battles, and you came out victorious. And then to you feel like, oh yeah, I'm strong, I'm actually doing it, but someday, sometime, you just find yourself breaking down and feeling so much pity for yourself, at what life has thrown at you, and, the struggles and everything, wondering why it seems to be so difficult for you to get whatever you want, why you have to work your ass off to get what you want and all that. And truthfully, what I do at the time like this is I take some time off social media. Like, of course, I'm definitely not going to put in myself through a lot of pressure. Yeah. And then if I have anybody in my contact list, I feel like at this point, like, my mental health is threatened by what they put out, what they post. The best thing I do is just to mute them, right? Yeah, I could actually unmute when I'm done processing that particular feeling, and at that particular season when I'm done with it, yeah, I can actually still unmute. Yeah, so I just decided to run it by you guys. You can also leave a comment down below if you've ever felt this way and how you dealt with it. I guess that I'm not the only one, and it's definitely going to help a lot of people who find themselves feeling one way or the other, empty, not enough, trying to process one or two things. Yeah, like I would always say, like, the world deserves a lot of kindness. People are going through things, even most times they can't even properly say, okay, this is actually why I'm feeling this particular way, yeah, or this is the reason. But you just know that you're not just happy with where you are today and how much you've achieved. Like, you feel like you can do more. And I think that this is also what the Bible was talking about. I think greed is in human nature. Like, how you beg God, oh God, I want this, and even if it's just one, I'm okay. Even if you do this, I will never ask you for any other thing. And then once that miracle is done, you find yourself asking for more. You find yourself, even when you've gotten to a point where you feel like, okay, this point in my wildest dream, I don't think I would have ever gotten to this place, and it should be a very big win for you. You find yourself being so unappreciative and all that, and you keep wanting more. I think human desire is insatiable, safe to say. Yeah, keep wanting and wanting more, and I really had to really put in prayer. I don't want to live my life that way. I want to be enough for myself. Yeah, and I had this discussion already with my bestie, and yeah, she kept telling me, she made me appreciate that I should be enough for myself. I'm doing a lot at my age and all, juggling a lot and all that, and yeah, she jolted me back to reality. But some days I'm okay, after some days I feel like I'm back to square one. Yeah, but I keep reminding myself, you're enough, Chamaka, you're enough for yourself. You're more than what you need for yourself. You don't need any other thing to feel complete. You don't need material things. You don't need to put your energy in things to feel complete, because I noticed that I like to put my energy into things if at the moment I feel like there's something really bothering me. I find something to put all my energy in, and once I'm done with that, I'm back to square one. So I'm trying to know if I can find another way around, trying to process my feelings and work on things without having to, put my energy in something, and once that project is done, I'm back to square one. Yeah. So if there's any way I can keep processing it one day at a time, accepting those feelings and not allowing them pile up, and then find something to put my energy to just put it off, and at the end of the day it comes back. Yeah, that would be really nice. So I just had to pass this by you guys. Let me know what you think.
Destruction into our lives. It's to counter this silent but evil agenda that God wakes us up unexpectedly in the night. It's His way of sending you a warning of what's happening in the spiritual realm you can't see. It may seem unexpected and disruptive, but there is a reason for it. Just like the parable of the wheat and tares, He knows your enemy is always prowling and looking for a way in. He's trying to protect you and keep you safe, even when you don't realize it. He understands your vulnerabilities and can see when you are in danger. He watches for the enemy's schemes, ever vigilant and ever present.
Yes, sir? MCU about a man or a child of the 11 years. So from what case she butia? Oh yeah, can because the ladies not gonna know Makoko operation even yesterday before they move because of the Mago strike and no consultant on seat. So that I'm gonna do so that's it.
Enemy schemes, ever vigilant and ever present, to make sure no harm befalls you when you are asleep. This is how it works. The devil knows that at night we are most vulnerable whilst we are asleep. He knows that a sleeping man cannot pray whilst he is asleep. He knows a sleeping man cannot read his Bible. He also knows a sleeping man isn't conscious of his surroundings. So at night, when it's dark and the world is asleep, this is when the enemy or the devil chooses to do his work. At the same time, this is when God begins to prompt you to wake up and pray. Because
I see what you're dropping on my bed. See, you just dropped spaghetti there, spaghetti on the bed.